All right, welcome back, everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. We've got ourselves a Terran versus Zerg here. I almost jumped the gun a little bit introducing the players. I figure you should know what matchup it's going to be for starters. So, a TvZ on the map, Cerulean Fall, but it's IEM, so it's going to be another best of 3. Spawning up in the top right-hand side of the map, it's RagnaroK playing for Team Psystorm. RagnaroK on this account apparently RNK, which is a pretty cool acronym. But no, I don't think I've ever actually cast RagnaroK. Like he's I'm trying to think of like a good way to put it as far as how he is in the scene. He's sort of like lurking in the shadows, but he's sort of like a shark lurking in the shadows. He's an incredibly good player, very potent, and then just. So it's going to be a treat to watch him play for the first time. But then spawning down the bottom left-hand side of the map, he's not unknown, that's for sure. It's Splice TY. TY, a just very good Terran player. I mean, this is some of the IEM qualifiers. I've already cast a couple of his games. Here's some more of them. And it is going to be a best of 3, so we'll see how it's going to go. TY would generally be considered the favorite in this matchup, but RagnaroK is a very good Zerg player from what I've heard. He's had some sort of surprising results in the past in qualifiers and things like that. But no, we'll see how he's going to do versus TY, what the plan is for TY here. The map is Cerulean Fall, so it's one of the big ones, so we can really see a wide range of things. But generally just the rule of StarCraft is the larger the map, the sort of longer the game and the more passive it's going to be. That's not like, that's not a law. It's sort of like a general unspoken rule you can go by. Because, I mean, of course, it's StarCraft 2. There's always going to be aggressive and there's always going to be aggressive and dirty builds. But it's just natural that the bigger maps do lend to more pacifism. Like sometimes we see Terrans just really securing up, getting 3 or 4 bases. As far as Zerg goes, I don't think it's the most favorite map for late game for Zerg, actually. I mean, as far as like a good late game TvZ maps go, I'd say Cerulean's actually pretty decent for the Terrans just because of the nature of the base layout. You generally, if you're a Zerg player, you're generally the guy who's trying to put out the fires. Ever since the first Reaper moves across the map, you just gotta really just be on your toes for everything. And the way Cerulean's laid out is just that there's a lot of potential ways that you can be hit with aggression. You can be hit with pushes across the map. That being said, they're not as strong on a map like this, but say, for example, TY, we may see him dropping here at this point in the game. We may see him dropping here, just pushing into this third base, which is a very viable target. But then even from there, when the Zerg player goes to expand, say they expand here for a 4th base, Terran just will always be dropping. They'll always be harassing. Your main base is relatively exposed too. There's a lot of dead space in that. And then just the more you expand out, really just you're sort of stretching yourself out as a Zerg player. And that's what makes this map a little tough for Zergs in the later game. It's still a completely optional way to play if you really want to take it that sort of route, but no, there's just a little insight on the map here while things really heat up. I mean, we're 3 minutes into the game. Nothing major's happened. TY didn't even really poke in with his Reaper. As a matter of fact, he's been incredibly passive with his Reaper this game, just wanting to make sure there's no shenanigans. But now he comes on in, confirms the 3rd base. He's got some Hellions that are out on the map now, and Ling speed on the way for RagnaroK. But no, this game is pretty passive so far. That being said, TY going to be getting some aggression out. He's making Hellions here. He's got a Banshee with Cloak on the way. TY is a very good player when it comes to microing Banshees. One of the best. Looks like this Reaper might have killed off a Creep Tumor here. Looks like it did indeed. So TY just trying to harass a little bit. Now, we'll see. TY's probably going to be throwing up a 3rd base relatively quickly behind this, but as I say that, he's got an Armory on the way, Cloaking Field, and so it is going to be one of those Hellbat Banshee attacks, and we'll see whether RagnaroK's able to defend this. TY's trying to poke on in with his Hellions and Reaper here, and I just say Hellions and Reaper when really I mean 2. The rest of them are back on his side of the map, just being defensive in case RagnaroK was getting out a lot of Lings or something like that. Also not wanting to fully show his hand, but here we see those Hellions are moving across the map. RagnaroK knows about this because of that Overlord positioning. He sees it's coming. Actually a bit of a mistake from TY. I think the pathing on this Banshee just flew right by where that Overlord was. I mean, sometimes it's a bit of the luck of the draw, but RagnaroK does know about this Banshee. As we see, he's got 4 Spore Crawlers on the way. keep in mind, he's making 4. He's sort of anticipating this attack that's coming in from TY. Because he's building a Spore Crawler on the front lines, this is going to dissuade the Banshee, prevent it from bullying the Queens as much. That being said, it could still be a bit rough for RagnaroK here. He's pulling back with his Queens. So far, good micro, but he is being split up. The Hellbats, though, they're engaging. The Lings are getting pretty decent face time on the Banshees, standing alive for now. And so far, RagnaroK with a good defense. That Spore Crawler dissuading the Banshee just from sitting there. I mean, looks like TY maybe killing off a few drones. No, he didn't kill off a single drone. And he gets a Queen with his Banshee, but no, good defense from RagnaroK. They're playing very well. I love that Spore Crawler. Just the second he had confirmation it was a Banshee, just 4 spores, boom. It's an investment, yes, but he was completely safe from that attack. He's now even making a couple Banes in order to defend from a potential counterattack. But as we see this game heating up, TY's going into Bio, which means we're in for a real treat. I'm just a sucker for Bio TvZ. I think most StarCraft 2 fans can agree on that. But while TY's attack, it got shut down, that doesn't mean he's completely done for yet. He's got the 2 Banshees, and 2 Banshees, even if your opponent, say, has Spores and Queens, they can get a surprising amount of damage done. We'll see if TY's able to make that happen. For now, he's going in with his Hellions once again. Just going to be getting in a bit of a bit of harassment going on here. His main attack never made much happen, but there's the Hellions poking on in. Looks like he just killed like 2 drones or something. But now here comes in the Banshee. He's going to be looking to pick off those drones. There's TY microing. One of the Banshees does get bruised up a bit and has to back out, but does kill off a few drones there. Killed off 4 in total, but overall RagnaroK doing a good job with his defense. TY, though, he does have his 3rd base done. He's powering up in his Bio, and we'll see how this game is going to go. Since he is playing Bio, it's going to be a little bit more straight up for RagnaroK to have to deal with this. He says, okay, I held the first attack. That means I just got to prepare for the next real Terran attack, as long as oh, look at that. TY, by the way, trying to kill that Overload with an auto turret. I think it can just barely. I'm not actually familiar on the map of that. Doesn't get away. Auto turrets put out a fair bit of damage, but no. If RagnaroK identifies that this is indeed a Bio play, which he has, he's seen the stim pack, he knows that he held the first wave. He's just got to get ready for the next one. That's bottom time to tech into his mutas, getting up some Banelings. Does have to be wary of this Hellion attack that TY is potentially going for with his Banshees, with his Raven, just trying to clean up creep and whatnot. But no, it's a bit nicer for RagnaroK, the fact that TY is following this up with Bio. Look at this, RagnaroK coming in with his Ling is going to be trying to pick off 2 fresh mules. He doesn't get them, though, which is a good save for TY. Looks like these Hellions actually going to find those Zerglings, which is good for TY as well. But he is going to have to deal with the mutas. 1-1's on the way for both players. Slight lead for TY, but nothing too major there. Or slight lead for, yeah, slight lead for TY. But yeah, no, as I was saying, it's a little bit better for RagnaroK, the fact that TY is following this up with Bio. And I'm saying that because Mech, how a lot of Terrans have been following this up lately, it's a little bit more unknown. It's tougher to deal with something that you're not familiar with exactly how it's going to play out, whereas RagnaroK's pretty familiar with how a Bio game plays out. Sort of Mech, on the other hand, not so much. So it is a nice thing for RagnaroK that TY is playing this sort of Bio style. That being said, drops and such can be lethal on this map, but the mutas may help deal with that. And we're also seeing there's a turret up for TY, but these mutas are going to be coming in looking for some damage. RagnaroK just rallying them to the left. This flock is just sort of trickling in here, and this is where it could become a bit of a nuisance. Muta's looking for whatever they can get. There's Marines in that bunker at that 3rd base. That should help defend. RagnaroK's just got to do that classic Muta micro. All the while, though, TY is pushing on the other front. Sometimes the Mutas can sort of draw the Zerg away from the real priorities. TY's coming in for an attack, but I feel like RagnaroK has a fair bit to deal with this. 17 Banelings, 40 Lings, that's a fair bit, as long as he can get a proper wrapper, and the Mutas are thinking of coming on in here. Actually, the Banelings eat some very significant tank shots, though, being drawn in. That's a pretty big mistake from RagnaroK. I mean, when you deal with a sort of sieged up Terran, you gotta go for them just all at once. The Banelings are just gonna be rolling in at the front. The Banshees and Marines actually getting on this base. Bit of hesitation here from RagnaroK, and those early tank shots really hurt him. Here he goes, getting the wrapper at now, though. Ling's getting on top of the tanks. They actually sort of just run on by the tanks. A bit of miss micro coming out of RagnaroK, and he does lose his 3rd base. He will clean up the Banshees, probably get the Raven as well, but TY's dropping into the main base. That Raven does escape, which is very nice as well. RagnaroK busy trying to deal with this drop, which is very important. The Marines also unload. So TY, I mean, he did get the fourth base, which was very nice for him. So the start of this bio game going pretty well. That being said, RagnaroK is getting up another base here. He just started the expansion though, so he is a 3-base Zerg. And when a Terran pushes out with a bio push, there's generally one goal. If it's an early bio push, it's kill the third. If it's a later bio push, it's kill the fourth. And TY managed to kill that important base, so that's very nice for him. That being said, though, RagnaroK's not just completely down and out yet. He's going to be able to micro these mutas around and whatnot. Now, these Marines going to pick off an Overseer. That's a nice little pick off. Every bit matters here. Now, these mutas, though, getting in, actually going to be picking off these Marines. They dove out of the bunker to try and get the mutas, but there's actually no auto turret, so TY skimped a little bit at this third base and is paying the price for it. RagnaroK's killed off a fair few SCVs so far, and he actually pulled TY all the way home, so that's buying him a bit of time here. That being said, TY going in with a drop right now, aiming on the spawning pool. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get it. He wants it, but yeah, these banelings going to roll on in and end that drop, that's for sure. I think TY is going to want to drop on, just sort of drop these units wherever. There he goes. Just any drone that he can kill off is a nice little pick off. These banelings definitely got something to say about that. Look at that though. TY, individual Marine micro. Just use up one more baneling, and as this is going on, he's pushing the front. He got that drilling clause, so his Widow Mines are going to be very lethal towards RagnaroK right now. Banelings want to push on up, but pushing up this ramp would be risky since there's creep spread, or since there's a lack of creep spread. Looks like a bit of a counterattack going on from RagnaroK. Actually killed off even more SCVs. So, I mean, TY's economy has been getting hurt a little bit behind this, but looks like RagnaroK might just be abandoning this base right now. His fourth base going to be getting picked off right now. He's microing these mutas, looking for whatever he can get. Looks like he ate a Widow Mine. He's got a pretty healthy flock still. 15 is no small amount of mutas, but he loses his fourth base again. So, I mean, he hasn't really been able to beat us on a solid economy, that solid Zerg economy he wants. He's now mining off of 4 bases, but this is the time in which Zerg would generally want to be getting a 5th because your main's mining out, your natural's starting to run dry, and even his 3rd base is having some of those patches dissipate. RagnaroK, though, wanting to sort of turn the aggression onto TY, focuses down a Widow Mine with the mutas as Lings try and run into the 4th base, but TY is on the defensive end so far, so just covering everything there. Eats another Widow Mine. Those Widow Mines are such a pain here. Does RagnaroK see this other one? Is he going to pick that off? Looks like he's not in time. That Widow Mine gets another shot off. That's a real bummer there for RagnaroK. Mutas just got to be so careful. TY's really churning out these mines. Those mines build very quickly in this day and age, and with their cloaking, it makes them a much bigger pain to deal with for the Zerg player. Now, TY is getting into his 3-3. He's securing up his own 4th base, which is going to really allow him to push out more. He's also got up a 5th base. He actually floated his main base. I love this from TY. The fact that he's really being proactive in taking his 5th base right now. Just the choice to be like, yeah, I'm on 4 bases, but my main base, it's not even completely mined out, but TY, no, he wants to have a strong economy. So in a sense, it's a bit of a gamble taking that expo earlier than Terrans usually do, but no, he just wants to have a very strong eco as this game goes on. RagnaroK, though, right now he's getting up Ultralisk, getting up +3 attack, chitinous plating, adrenal glands. Those Zerg upgrades, they sometimes look a little bit similar, but no armor on the way for RagnaroK just yet, investing in the Ultras. And if he can get there, that'll really help him out. But as this is going on, he loses his 5th base, and unfortunately, though, he does have another one, but he's going to have to deal with this Terran army right now. There's 2 Ultras on the way. Chitinous plating is about 30 seconds out. Banelings roll forward. Not the best connections there. We'll see if RagnaroK's able to hold on. It looks like he's getting a bit of a Ling counterattack. TY, though, with lots of bio back at home, able to hold on. That's actually a lot of bio back at home. But yet, even with just this portion of his army, TY able to push into RagnaroK, and RagnaroK losing yet another base. He gets the base up. He loses a base. That seems to be the trend. Muta's flying in towards this location. Gonna be able to pick off that Raven, which is nice. Gets a sensor tower. So RagnaroK, I mean, he's at least been getting his own licks in. And Ultra in the main's gonna have to deal with that drop. Should be able to deal with that pretty nicely there. And look at that. RagnaroK even queued up his anabolic synthesis. Gonna help out those Ultras be a little bit quicker off creep. Now, right now we see Liberators on the way for TY, so he's planning on dealing with those Ultras. He's got a ton of Widow Mines, which actually can help out a little bit depending on how the engagement goes, but you generally do need something. Greater Spires on the way for RagnaroK, so he's trying to reach that sort of scary Zerg composition, which you have, say, the Broodlords, the Ultras, basically all the later tech, which generally goes pretty well for Zerg as the game reaches that stage. But TY, he's going to have a very strong sort of timing. He's maxed out. He's looking to push. He's got 3-3. RagnaroK's going to have his own +3 attack soon. He's got adrenal glands. So, I mean, that's going to help his army out, but he's still trying to tech up into this greater tech. And look at that. He catches a Medivac, but, I mean, the mutas still pay the price a little bit there as TY always getting some value with his units. Baneling's rolling forward right now for RagnaroK, trying to clean out the mines, but look at that. No Overseer in position, so it's a bit tough. RagnaroK, though, just deciding to go for it. So many Banelings rolling up this ramp. Couple Ultras in tow, but that's really it. TY's doing a fantastic job splitting, but that being said, when your Marines are split, it's just sort of divide and conquer for the Ultras. But no, a very good engagement for RagnaroK, pushes TY back. All the Medivacs survive, some of the mines are still hanging around, but I mean, RagnaroK just wanted to dislodge that Terran army, and he managed to do so, which is very nice for him. He's getting up these corruptors. His Greater Spire's about to be done. That's really going to help him out. Here comes the mutas now. They're going to be flying on in towards that third base. Going to be picking off some of those Marines, maybe find some Liberators. Got to be careful, but like RagnaroK's actually done a fantastic job this game, keeping his mutas alive. Yes, he's lost a few, mainly to Widow Mines, I'd say, just one here and there. So, but that being said, no, he's done a good job keeping his mutas alive. They haven't got catastrophic damage, but they've at least been getting their licks in, you know? And that's really been helping him out a bit, just keeping TY on the defensive a bit. And now RagnaroK's at this point in which he's hitting Broodlords, which is a very good spot for the Zerg because the Terran needs some sort of anti-air or a fantastic engagement. Look at this, though. TY dropping on, trying to hit some of those drones. Being a very big nuisance with this, but these mines should be getting cleaned up. And TY, he has seen the fact that there's Broodlords now, which is really going to tip him off. He's got 2 starports, or 3 starports, pardon me. He's starting to make some Vikings. It's always a bit risky to try and take on Broodlords with Vikings, but RagnaroK's air army, really all he has to cover the Broodlords is these 14 mutas, and mutas don't fill that role perfectly. And so the lack of any more corruptors could hurt RagnaroK. He's making 4 more, but as this is going on, he loses a base. He's getting some counter harassment done, but look at this. There's actually the Liberators set up, which are just fantastic defense just around that base, prevents the Ultras from attacking it. The rest of the bio coming back, mines getting set up, and as this game has gone on, RagnaroK, he's struggled to get up more and more bases, and look at this, TY coming in to harass once again. This is really going to hurt RagnaroK, losing so many drones there to just a drop. As I said, these drops can be lethal pretty much at any time. Now RagnaroK, he's looking to, he needs to get up more bases. Like, basically what TY's done is he's got up all these extra orbitals he's been able to invest to better his economy, whereas RagnaroK's really struggling with the bare minimum. It's not terrible, but it's not great either, and when you're going up against TY, being down on the economy definitely doesn't help. RagnaroK stepping forward, wants to take an engagement. The Broodlords are working away on the Marines, but they might not even be able to save the base. The Liberators are just shredding the Broodlings so quickly, so the base goes down. RagnaroK trying to morph even more Broodlords, but he's doing those with his Corruptors, which are really needed to pick off the Vikings, and TY even running Widow Mines underneath the Broodlords just because he can. There's not that much to cover them. The Liberators just providing adequate cover. The mutas are coming on in to try and help deal with this. They may be able to pick off the Liberators and Vikings, but most of the Broodlords have gone down, and look at this, TY just stimming forward. It looks like he's just got too much. GG. TY takes it. I mean, what a game. Like, RagnaroK, he was trying his best in that game, but no. Fantastically played by TY. In the end, I guess RagnaroK just didn't get enough done. TY's base pickoffs, it's always tough for a Zerg to try and come back when they lose a base to that push that's supposed to kill off the 4th. So that's a bit rough there. He played a good game. No major flaws or anything, I'd say, but no. Just going up against TY is always tough. That being said, this is a best of 3. So we're going to get on into the next game here, as TY needs to win 1 more, whereas RagnaroK's got to win at least 2 more. And we'll see if he's able to do it. But no, that first game was great. So we'll have a look at how the second one is. And no, just casting all these IEM replays really has been a treat. Let's see, do I remember my password finally? I think that's a good sign. There we go. All right, let's log on in. Get to the next replay. No more time to waste. Thanks so much to everyone who's been checking out these IEM videos, guys. I know it's been like a lot from the same tournament, but Starcraft 2, and IEM Katowice. I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation. I think it's like Katowice. It's just, it's the best StarCraft 2 tournament in the year. I'm going to say it, guys. It's better than BlizzCon. Ooh, there's the replay time. Hope you guys didn't see that. But just ignore it if you did. Anyway, spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, it's RagnaroK playing for Team Psystorm. And in the top left, it's TY. Oh, he's going for a 2-Rax. From the looks of it, there's those 2 SCVs. One to build that supply depot, the other to move out. I mean, it could just be a proxy Reaper or something, but TY, he's like the most infamous 2-Raxer. I'd say even more than Maru. TY, he's just so like methodical about it. He's like, yep, I'm gonna 2-Rax. It's what I do. My name's TY and I 2-Rax. But no, we'll see if RagnaroK's able to scout this or whatnot. But no, as I was saying, guys, IEM TvZ, the best StarCraft 2 tournament in the year. Hands down. I don't care what anyone says. BlizzCon, not as good. I love BlizzCon, and I watch it every year, but it's just not as good as IEM TvZ. And the reason why, in my opinion, is, for starters, the server qualifiers. Anyone can play in any of the server qualifiers. That's what these are. This game, I'm pretty sure, is from the North American qualifier, and we've got the best Korean players playing through it and qualifying through it. And I say that's the best of the best. So as far as the best of the best StarCraft 2 goes, through the qualifiers, it's just the best of the best. Now, RagnaroK's actually going to find this proxy. And then another thing that makes IEM TvZ so good is the fact that anyone can sign up for the open bracket. So we've got all these great players who are going to try and qualify at the offline qualifiers, which is basically, they're trying to make it through an offline qualifier in order to go play with 12 of the other best players in the world. Now we see RagnaroK's pulling drones to try and defend this 2-Rax, by the way. I feel as if I should be talking about that a bit more instead of just hyping up IEM TvZ, which is just so good. But Marine's on the way out for TY. His 2-Raxes are brutal, man. His micros are superb. RagnaroK's pulled drones here just to sort of preemptively try and deal with this. He's delaying the SCVs as long as he can. He's going to have 6 Lings out on the way. He's pulling a lot more drones to try and deal with this, but we'll see how well TY's 2-Rax in game is going to go. I feel as if it's pretty good. RagnaroK's rather broke, but he is getting up a spine crawler, and I mean, if you can delay the Terran player long enough, that's what you need as a Zerg. But as I say that, here comes in the first bunker, but there's a lot of Lings here for RagnaroK. The question is, he's got to section off something to pick off that Ling or to pick off that SCV, but now we see drones and Lings engaging, but TY has built up a very scary number of those, and RagnaroK never managed to focus down that SCV that was building that supply depot. There's the one spine crawler getting up, but I'm not sure if RagnaroK's going to be able to hold on. He's so broke, he hasn't been able to squeeze out many Lings. The spine crawler's up, but the bunker is probably going to be able to finish up. We'll see. There's a lot of Marines here. The bunker's up. Drones are pulled into it. The Queen's working away. It can focus down those injured SCVs. But there's so many Marines here for TY, and the buffer's just not there for RagnaroK. The spine crawler is burning down. He's got that war chest skin on, and I think RagnaroK may just be dead. TY dropped the mule. I think that's just to repair his bunker. It's not BM, guys. But RagnaroK, no, just pulling those drones, just really hurting him there. As, yeah, I'm not sure what he should have done. I mean, he scouted it, but TY is just so good. I think RagnaroK, maybe the mistake this game was that I understand wanting to try denying the bunker up, but maybe he should have just, I don't know, maybe if, say, he placed his spine crawler a little bit further to the back, it couldn't have been focused down or something. And then, I mean, there's not much else to this game, guys. TY won the series 2-0, so TY takes it, GG. I mean, RagnaroK played a great first game. The second game, that's just the way it goes. So maybe if RagnaroK, say, had folks, when he was pulling the drones, I know you want everything, but maybe if he just sections one off to kill the SCV that's building the bunker, and his 2 Lings didn't even, say, focus it down, like, that SCV was still alive as RagnaroK was retreating. So RagnaroK could have done 1 or 2 things better to hold that 2-Rax. He scouted it. It's doable. Maybe he pulled some drones a little bit too early, I think. Well, he pulled like 4 or 5, but then they just sort of held at the top of the ramp, which is good to stop the bunkers getting up, but maybe like 1 or 2 less. I'm not sure. You'd have to ask a really good pro gamer. Like, I'm sure RagnaroK holds these all the time, but it's just one of those things. It's a tough build to stop regardless. Anyway, if you guys stayed to the very end, stayed through all my sort of incoherent rambling, make sure to hit a like on this video. It's always a treat to cast IEM. And if you guys do enjoy the content, you're new to the channel, and you watched all the way to the end, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.